What's going on, guys? So in today's video, I'm going to be unboxing the Space Black 14-inch MacBook Pro. Very excited for this new color here. We got black, space background. And without further ado, a word from our sponsor, Nobody. Let's give credit where credit is due, and that would be China. Thank you for assembling this, as always. All right, so let's go ahead and get this unboxed. You guys hear that? That shink, shink, shink. Dang, let me in the box. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we got Space Black. Honestly, just kind of looks space gray. Okay, now I care about the cable. So the cable, as you can see here, is black. This is proper black. I'd say it has like a hint of white to it, but this is black. Let's be honest. Anyway, who cares about what's in this box? Let's just chuck that over there and let's see what the laptop looks like. It's cold outside, so the laptop is pretty cold. Load! Oh! Okay. Okay, to be honest, holy. Pictures online do not do this justice. I honestly thought this was space gray from the pictures I've seen online, and in the light, oh my God, this is beautiful. Oh, when it's not in the light, geez, that is beautiful. The overhead camera is probably not capturing this because it definitely depends on where you're standing. Like right now, it probably looks space gray to you guys, like on this side. But if I turn it this way, oh my God, if I turn it towards myself, this is like black. Oh, it changes. That is beautiful. So I do want to talk about the actual fingerprints because Apple did talk about this has, fingerprint resistance or anti-fingerprint coating. I want to say that it feels a little bit slick, but you can definitely tell that there are fingerprints on here. I want to say it's almost as if, let me actually zoom in on the overhead. Hopefully the overhead camera is showing this magnificent color, but this is phenomenal. Like, space gray. This looks like proper space gray, but someone just like dropped some dye of black. It just looks amazing. And then once you have it like close to yourself or you don't have it hitting the light as much, it turns proper black. I do want to compare this to the midnight color, which I still think, even though with this side by side, I still think the midnight looks better because I don't know, the colors that I get from the midnight blue are just more rich. People talk about fingerprints. To be completely honest, I do not care about fingerprints at all. It is what it is. I know what I'm getting myself into, but in terms of the improvement of the coating that we get on the Space Black, I really just think Apple kind of just treaded that line of how dark can we go before it's too obvious, but we don't want it to be light as well. And you also have to make sure that people know you have the new MacBook, right? So I am a fan of the Space Black, not a fan that it's not available on the entry-level 14-inch, but overall, kind of happy. So looking at the ports here, we still have our 2 Thunderbolt ports and a headphone jack and MagSafe. Then on the other side, we have our HDMI, another Thunderbolt port, and the SD card slot. One thing I also want to mention as well is a lot of people were giving a lot of crap over to the midnight color because if you were to plug it in and unplug it all the time, you're going to get scratches and it'll show the silver. But I'd argue you're going to get that same thing on the Space Black. So I don't really know why people care so much about that. But overall, I'd say don't worry about it. Plug and unplug your ports as much to your heart's content. It is what it is, right? You got the color for what you wanted it for. Let's go ahead and look at the inside and remove the paper. Once again, they've definitely changed this. All right, so let's give this a nice smell. Once again, Apple's improved their smelling. It smells like a leather brand new car. I can't say a brand because I don't want to get sued, but just know it smells like a very nice car brand on the inside. Moving on over to the inside, this is, once again, the pictures don't do this laptop justice online. This looks much better in person. Like, this is Space Black. It's not black, it's Space Black, okay? It's It's really just space gray, but darker, just a richer space gray. That's the best way to describe it. I do like how the back of the keyboard matches the rest of the laptop, I believe.
English as the main language.
Shut up.
Press the return key.
Shut up. I do like how the back of the keys match the actual color of the laptop. If I were to get that last laptop I unboxed on the channel, previous MacBooks, it's black keycaps with a black keyboard behind it and then the rest of the color. But as you can see here, this is black keycaps with the chassis color behind it. I like this more. It just makes it look darker than what it is. I don't know why I'm doing this as if I'm an Italian. I don't know Italian, that's why I'm saying that. But look beautiful. Anyway, all right, my friend spoiled me already and said that the insides are more prone to fingerprints. And I mean, I guess, right? Sort of. I mean, if a person does this, like if they have anxiety or something, or they just like to fidget, sure. But don't think I'm going to get fingerprints on here too much. But I guess, yeah, doesn't look like they have any coating on the inside here. All right, so I have 11 minutes before I have to be back at work, so I'm probably gonna speed through this entire, display, speaker, microphone test that I typically do and just get on with it, but let's do them super quick. All right, we're gonna crank this up to 4K 60, and this is what it looks like. Do keep in mind that this is Apple's $5,000 XDR display shrunken to their 14-inch laptop. We do get that mini LED technology, so things get exceptionally bright for you, especially if you have an HDR workflow. Maybe not. I'm probably speaking out of my, my career here. People who probably do HDR workflows probably have a more expensive monitor that can handle that stuff. But for consumers, I'd say this is good enough. Does have ProMotion, so it runs at 120 hertz. We all love that. The display on MacBooks, time and time again, I'll say this, it is a treat to look at. But yeah, we're just running across some of this HDR 4K 60 content. Looks amazing. Let's see what everyone is replaying at this point, just so we can join in on the fun here. Not sure where this is, so beautiful though for the wintertime. My guess is Canada or Alaska, Eastern Europe, Siberia. Yeah, but look how black this gets. Look at that is a nice place to stop. Listen, I'm not a display expert, but you gotta give credit to this display and the mini LEDs over OLED. Well, not over OLED, but as an alternative. These blacks are black, but it's not washing things out where they're gray like regular LCDs. No pun intended. There was no pun there. But these dogs, you can tell like there is a proper sunset and the sun is on the other side, and this is the shadow that's being casted. It's black, but you can still see some of the detail in the mountain as well. Overall, looks amazing. This is probably why it's the most replayed. Yeah, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Speakers are nice. It's a MacBook. Do I need to say more? Yeah, the only thing I can really comment when it comes to MacBook speakers, if you haven't experienced them in person, especially in their Pro models, it's that the bass, there's more bass than what you would expect, and the clarity is just crystal clear. No distortion at max volume. Everything sounds very balanced and well put together. That's the best way I can describe it. But I think it's the bass that I just don't typically expect when it comes to a laptop. Usually it's muddy, but the bass in the MacBooks are very clear, thumpy. You won't be disappointed. All right, now let's do a quick camera and microphone test. I got 5 minutes. Can it go any slower? All right, so this is the camera and microphone test on the MacBook Pro 14-inch in space black at $2,000. You guys let me know how it looks and sounds. I would say, once again, I have good lighting in this video, but I would say it's above average. It's not excellent. And I feel like most people who are buying a MacBook most likely have an iPhone anyway, so use your iPhone if you want the best possible camera quality and microphone as well. But for a laptop, I would say this is above average, acceptable in most cases, because once this gets shrunken down, it's gonna look pretty sharp. One thing I forgot to do in my last video was the typing test. So let me go ahead and do a quick typing test. Keyboard, Magic Keyboard, it's great. So looking at the clock here, I got 2 minutes left before I have to go back to work. So let me just wrap up my conclusions and first thoughts on using the new 14-inch $2,000 version. Space black, I love the color. I can kind of tell in terms of the fingerprints on the inside. Outside, I don't want to say it's resistant to fingerprints. I want to say it's improved, but I can definitely tell that there are fingerprints. Let me look at it when the laptop is open. Yeah, I can tell that they're fingerprints. But, you know, I would say this is a nice refresh of the MacBook lineup. In terms of the processor, I'm not really too focused on that in these reviews or first impressions because I haven't really pushed them to their limits. But I'm assuming it's going to be an improvement from last generation. By how much, I don't really know. Looking at the spec sheet, though, it doesn't seem like the M2 to M3 isn't that big, or the M2 Pro to the M3 Pro is also not that big from just the benchmarks that I've seen. It's more so the M2 Max and the M3 Max. There's a bigger performance improvement between the two. That's a price point that I can't afford. So if you are expecting to get that much power, pun intended, more power to you. But overall, I would say for a refresh, it's not that bad. We also get an additional 2 gigabytes of memory. So we have 18 gigs as the base that we get. But overall, $2,000 for a MacBook, it's kind of in line with what Apple does year after year. It's nice to see the Apple Silicon kind of mature from what we had 3 years ago at this point. So it's 1 o'clock. I got to sign off on YouTube, go back to work. Appreciate every single sub, like, and comment. Hopefully you guys found this video informative and I was as clear and concise as I could. Review will be out and comparisons as well. Let me know what you guys want me to do. And until next time, guys, much love. Back to work. Woo! Oh my God, the PS5. Where is the end? I will say it is very smooth on top, but I've talked enough about the color Chow and this language. I do not know. All right, let me remove this midnight. I would throw this, but honestly, the pile is looking a little scary over there, so I'm just going to drop it. Look at me, I'm a gingerbread man. This is actually beautiful though. Like, from a design standpoint, this is beautiful. Let's do 4K HDR video.